Hi everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video, at least the first one where you've ever been able to see my face. So I am Sarah McDermott Jan. I am a writer and a filmmaker, and I love horror. I'm real into horror. So in a lot of my work, I use horror as a tool to help people move through their own fears and, into a better life that feels more empowering, more enlightening. So in future videos, I'm going to give you guys lots of information and advice on finishing those writing projects, those film projects, and also moving through your fears, whatever fears you're suffering with. But first and foremost, in this very first video, I could think of nothing better to talk about than the fear of actually starting a YouTube channel and putting yourself out there, because it's something I'm experiencing right this minute, even as I speak, because again, this is my first video for this channel. So I think a lot of people out there, they have ideas for things that they want to do, and they continually put them off because there are fears. And for a lot of people, they might have an idea for a YouTube channel, something they can offer, something they know a lot about, and they put it off. And again, with my video right now, it's a first video. It's not polished. I didn't set up anything fancy with like lights or fancy backgrounds or anything like that. I think I knew if I did that I would probably just never do it. And at the end of the day, just taking the action and doing something, getting it started, is the most important thing. So here we go. I'm going to break down for you the three biggest fears, some of them conscious and some of them subconscious, that hold someone back from starting their own YouTube channel. So number one is the fear of not being ready. So this is a big one. If it's not starting a YouTube channel, you probably have something else in your life that you've wanted to do, that you've imagined. Maybe you even have a notebook, you've written down ideas, you want to get it going, but you never actually start because you trick yourself into thinking that you don't have everything you need. You don't know everything that you need to know to get started. And that's completely false. So what I have learned in life is that you don't need to be ready. If there's something in you that you feel like you need to do, the thing that you need to know is that only by starting, only by doing it, do you wind up learning the lessons that you need to learn to move through it and eventually improve and be better and grow. So if there is something in you, there's an urge to do something, an interest in doing something, that is your sign that that's what you're supposed to be doing. And there's no time like the present. You have to get started. Only by starting, I'll repeat this, do you learn what you need to know to finish and to grow in that particular area. All right, number two. Now, this is the most obvious one, definitely not subconscious, but it's the fear, of course, of haters and trolls. And there are a lot of them out there on the internet, of course. And this, believe me, I get this one big time. So you're worried, you're going to try to be authentically you, put something out there, but what if people just rip it apart? What if it's just a whole bunch of thumbs down? And nasty comments? That's not good for anybody. Here's what I will say to that particular fear. I believe that at some point in your life, the desire to find your tribe and contribute something to your tribe and form those connections is going to outweigh the desire to hide from people who might be mean to you. Now, depending on where you are and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, you might disagree. The thought of having someone say something nasty might to you just be the worst possible thing in the world. Believe me, I get it. It is a horrible feeling. But again, at some point, you have to ask yourself, what's more important? Is it more important to hide from the people who are mean and who are always going to be mean, whether it's you putting yourself out there or not, whether it's someone else or not? Or is it more important to be authentically you and start to make those connections with people who can genuinely make your life better because they're looking for the kind of content that you can provide. They're looking for someone just like you. I think it's way important to go ahead and find that tribe. All right, now number three, and this one is a bit more subconscious that you might not even realize, but if you're going to go ahead and you're going to start your own YouTube channel, it means that you finally have to really figure out who you are. And I think this is a big fear for a lot of people too. Again, I think a lot of people have in their mind this imagined future where everything comes together, where you're perfectly ready to do whatever it is that you wanted to do, accomplish whatever that goal is, and where it's all figured out, where you are your actualized, wonderful, ideal self. But when it comes to actually starting, it's scary. You don't want to make mistakes. And a lot of people aren't sure of exactly who they are. You kind of have an idea, you kind of know your interests, but most of the time there's a lot of other voices in your head telling you, do it this way or do it that way. If you're going to take charge of your life, start a channel or do some other kind of project that requires you to put your personality and who you are out there regularly, you have to figure out who that is so that you can be true to it, so that you're actually delivering messages that are true to who you are. And I think when people finally go to do this, it's very frightening. It's really, really challenging. People go their whole lives without really taking the time to figure out who they are. So I believe that that is the third big fear that holds people back. And to that, I would just say a life where you can connect with who you are and authentically live as who you are is so fulfilling and so worth it. My advice is to reflect on that a bit, think about what you want to put out there, and just stay true to that. You will be so much happier than if you didn't do that. All right, so again, this was just my first quick video, getting started, taking the action to actually do it, reasons why people are afraid to go ahead and start their own YouTube channel. So a little exercise for you, if starting a YouTube channel is something you've always wanted to do, think about, number one, what can you do with what you have right now? Again, this is just me here with my laptop. It's nothing fancy. What can you do right now so that you don't stress over the I'm not ready part? What's your message? What do you want to say? You can say it to a laptop or into an iPhone and get the ball rolling. Number two, haters and trolls. Just reflect to yourself a little bit. What's more important, running from those people or finding the people who are going to truly connect with you and love what you have to say? Really, it's the second one is much more important. And then finally, number three, figuring out who you are. Take a few minutes to brainstorm. Who are you? What would you want your message to be? What is it that you really know about and care about that you would want to share with others? And I promise, if you kind of give yourself a few minutes just to start brainstorming, you'll be amazed at how many different ideas start to come up for different episodes. All right, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, and if you enjoy film, writing, horror, any of those things, please be sure to hit subscribe and check out the description down below to visit my website and get some free presents. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.